think a lot of people look at money as the goal, and it's not even close to the goal. You're the driver. You are responsible for your own life. And people fear running out of money instead of fear of wasting their life. Money wasn't the goal. A lot of times, I think I'm building the life I want, but it was really what was advertised to me. It was when I was younger, when I didn't have any money and I was out trying to conquer things. And I was having, lots of thoughts about what is it all for? What does it all mean? I was a screen clerk, which is basically a peon, assistant peon. And when you're in Manhattan, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a millionaire, right? Very rich people. But when I was younger, I was like, oh, they're old. Now, they were younger than the age I am right now. I'm 54, right? But what are they gonna do with the money? Buy another car and drive their kids to school? Like, what is use of it, right? For me, it was all about the girls and the parties and stuff like that. Things that a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, or 22-year-old would think. But, the more I thought about it, and books I read, like Your Money or Your Life, which was a very influential book for me. The money wasn't the goal. The life was the goal. The fulfillment was the goal. Money it's like hammers and saws, right? Like, you can keep buying hammers and saws, you can go to the hardware store, but the hardware store, the tools that you get out of there, that's not the goal. The goal is the house and the things you build. And so money is the tool to build your life, to give you the experiences you want with your friends, or hedonistic or charitable. It doesn't matter the type of experience. It's just, money is just one of those tools in your toolkit. And so once I started to think about that I wanted to have an adventurous life, a life with scars, a life with mistakes, a life with risks. Money had its place, right, in building the life that I wanted. And so I think that's when I started to unlock kind of my fearlessness, my risk taking. I'll go anywhere, acquire this tool to build the life I want, but really it's about building the life I want. And trying to figure out what kind of life I want. I think I'm building the life I want, but it was really what was advertised to me. You're young, you're impressionable. It's like, oh, I want my life to look like a rap video, or I want my life to look like this, right? And then I do it, and I'm just like, oh, this is not really me. This is not really fulfilling to me. And so I've had many journeys about what will fulfill me and what the money's for, but ultimately it's just one variable out of what I would call the three variables: your wealth, your health, and your time. Like, how do I allocate those resources over my life to get the most fulfilling life? And so I think a lot of people look at money as the goal, and it's not even close to the goal, right? The goal is a fulfilling life. I think about survival and the lifestyle that I have, the things that I normally think I'm gonna be doing for now until the day I die. But I think about the activities, how they will change as my life changes. I think a lot of people will look at on autopilot, or not thinking about these things. They think they're going to retire one day and then their life is going to look like a carnival commercial. For each person in each profession, right? Like, there's certain situations where people have pensions, guaranteed jobs, etc., and career progression, right? Where their salary is going to be going up. And they're also going to have their own health, right? Like they're very healthy, not that healthy, etc. And what they're trying to do is thinking about, okay, what experiences in the 20 to 25 bucket, or 25 to 35, or whatever, any way you want to break it up, what experiences belong now that I should be doing now and gifting the memory dividends to my future self?
Interesting.
Or what things am I doing now that are robbing my future self from stability, right? And so there was a period in my life when I was in my 20s, I was seesawing, right? I was like saving too much. I was borrowing from my poor self to give to my future richer self, which
Right.
did not make any sense, right?
Right.
And then I went from I'm gonna party and going crazy and I'm spending every single nickel I made, right? Creating future instability for myself by not saving. And now, so for each person, their career path, their earnings potential, etc., that will be different. But the thing is to get off autopilot and be thinking about it. People will have other experts, like a financial plan. A lot of times the financial planners are about, let's maximize the money. It'd be like, that's not the ultimate goal. The goal is to maximize fulfillment.
Yeah.
And so they will keep you safe, and maybe you'll save a certain amount of money, but you're the driver. You are responsible for your own life. And so if you want to be intentional and get the most out of your entire life and each time period, you have to think about, okay, is backpacking now through Europe? Is this the period to be backpacking through Europe? Or is it 20, 30 years from now? Is this a trip or an experience or a charitable thing that I need to be doing now? Or is this something that I need to be doing later in my life, right? Just that thought process, by ordering your life properly, will help you have a more fulfilling life. I think the biggest psychological crime is people fear running out of money instead of fear of wasting their life. And so, you know, they have this fear of embarrassment of like, I'm gonna run out of money and I'm gonna be broke, or I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, instead of fearing like, I am wasting my life. We were talking about the 20 to 30 bucket. I'll just, you know, this is it. This is the only period I'll be 20 to 30. There are certain activities, experiences that are meant for this bucket, right? People are marketing services and products to you. You know that they're there, right? Like, I don't want to do them. Like, go have fun, right? But and they're worried about, you know, in the 30, 40. So I think people worry about embarrassment, what other people think, judgment about their lifestyle or them failing in the future, etc., as opposed to worrying about like, I don't want to waste this ride. And it's not like even the ride for the whole life, every single period of your life. So if you're a parent with small children, not wasting that period. With teenagers, I know a lot of us would like to waste that period, just be like, can we get through this period? But that period, and then, you know, eventually you don't have kids in the house anymore. And that's a different period of your life. And there's different activities and different opportunities that go. And I often say, life is like Tetris, right? If you were in heaven, let's assume this heaven, and you're about to come down to earth as a human being, and God's, here's the bucket of experiences. And when I use experience, I mean choices, right? I mean it in the broadest sense. Hedonistic, charitable, whatever. Yeah. And you're like, oh, the infinite bucket of experiences. I want to go hiking, I want to tennis 1,000 times, I want to have sex 1 jillion times, I want to do all these things. You're throwing them into the experience bucket. I want to start a business, I want to go to school, blah, blah, blah. And it's full. And God goes, great. You can have all those, you just have to get the order right. So life is like Tetris. You know, you remember the game Tetris, so you had to get the shapes right? Life is that way. Like, if you don't have the experiences at the right time, they run to interfere with each other, or your ability to do them disappears. So you can have all the money in the world, right? When I was in St. Petersburg, Russia, this is before the war, beautiful city. And one of the things about Europe is like, things they allow you to do would be completely illegal in the United States. Right. There's not like safety laws or whatever. So you can climb these steps, walk around the churches, and then walk around the balcony. Beautiful. It's amazing. It's like, wow, I can't believe we still get to do this. And it was like 115 steps. I remember it was an odd number. I think it might have been 111. But and there were like 6 or 8 tour buses of senior citizens, you know, coming to go see the museum and this church. Not a single one climbed those steps. Not a single one. So their trip to St. Petersburg was entirely different than my St. Petersburg trip. Their experience, the information they got to process, the things they got to see was totally different. I'm not saying it wasn't enjoyable, but perhaps in a city that allows you to roam around and do these things and go on cliffs and overlook type of things and you enjoy it, perhaps that trip should have been taken much earlier.
Wow.
And so, you know, that's an example of getting the order right.